welcome to another edition of OnSide SA. Budgie's gallivanting in Blighty, and Gavin Radford's come through to stand in. Super sub, welcome Gav.
Thanks, Lev.
And of course we'll be speaking to the international pundit Stevie B, who's in London. But let's start the show as we always do with last man standing. And funny enough, we've got a winner, Gav. I don't know if you've met him, have you, Gavin Wright?
I haven't met him, no, I haven't met him, but what a performance to get through.
You're a lot of people to beat. You know, Gavin Wright, Budge has spoken to him already. Well done, Gav. He's a baseballer, and my brother-in-law, Keith and him, I think are going to go overseas to see his ticket being used. The guys that went out, he went through on Man United. The other ones that went out were Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, West Ham. They took them out. Well done, Gav. You'll be hearing a lot from Budgie. Right, let's try to get Stevie going. Steve, you with us?
I'm here, good morning.
Morning. Well, I missed a couple of things this last night, but you and Gavin, I believe, watched. Let's firstly go through the Champions League midweek review. Barcelona won. I didn't watch that.
I just saw highlights. I mean, they probably deserved it over the two legs, so they're not having the best of seasons, so it's probably good for them through to the quarter-final.
Yeah.
And Napoli's record in Spain is very poor, very poor. And Barcelona, not the greatest team around, but it was a workmanlike team from Barcelona, and they got the results.
They get results at home. And then Arsenal, Steve, they went through.
They did. They made hard work of it. Porto didn't give them much space. They found it hard to play their sort of flowing football Arsenal, but they got through in the penalty shootout. Obviously, it's always a lottery, but exciting. And David Raya made two saves, and they've gone through. But I think they're going to find it a bit tougher, Arsenal, because they struggled over the two legs to break Porto down. Yeah. And obviously they're going to come up against stronger opposition in Europe.
Yeah, another one who went to penalties was Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, second half, Atletico really turned it on. I mean, they played very well. It was it became a very physical game. I mean, neither team were giving any quarter, and again, another exciting finish, and Atletico went through on penalties.
And then Dortmund did the business.
Yeah, I mean, comfortable for them in the end. PSV, along with Copenhagen, probably the two weakest teams left in the competition, and Dortmund are through. I'm not sure they'll go much further. It depends who they get, but good win for them. Sancho played and scored.
Yeah, just quickly touching on the Europa League, that Liverpool were very comfortable against Sparta Prague. Brighton got humbled at home to Roma. Friday.
They lost 4-0 away. They play at home. Yeah. But you can't see you can't see Brighton turning it round. Liverpool, because they're so comfortable, they could probably rest some of the big names ahead of the FA Cup game. So they're in a good position.
I think Liverpool.
And the other ones, yeah.
Steve. I think Liverpool will go back to playing the youngsters again. Like you said, I can't see them getting beat.
Yeah, I think they can. I mean, Klopp's in a good position because he can afford, if he wants to rest Salah, Van Dijk, ahead of the United game. Yeah. So, again, they'll be on the bench. He'll bring the big guns on if he had to.
And then West Ham got it to do against Freiburg?
Yeah. That's going to be a tough game. I mean, they beaten 1-0 away, their first defeats in the Europa League this year. That's a big game. West Ham are going to have to start fast. Freiburg, not a bad side. Sort of, they're not troubling the leaders in the Bundesliga, but I think they make themselves hard to beat. So this could be a pretty close game. I think I'll be watching this one.
And Aston Villa, a bit quieter lately.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've had some poor results, particularly at home. But this is a game I think they're going to expect to win. They were probably the better side over at Ajax, so it'll be interesting to see how they do. As I say, this will be an entertaining game as well.
Yeah. Gav,
I think Emery with the Aston Villa side will want to get through. He's one of those managers that likes to win this cup. Yeah. This cup game. I think they're at home. I think Villa are a good bet tonight, so I think they'll win comfortably.
They play tonight. Tell me, Gav, did you watch the Bournemouth-Luton game?
I watched bits and pieces of it. When I saw 3-0 going up, I thought, here we go, these guys are going, they're going to pull themselves out of relegation because they've got Forest on the weekend, and that if they could win that, then they're really out of the relegation. But they threw away a 3-0 lead, and when you're down on the bottom, those runs go against you.
They do everything.
And Bournemouth just turned it on.
Did you watch the highlights, Steve?
I saw the highlights, yeah. I mean, it was, as Gavin said, I mean, they could have found themselves sort of level with Nottingham Forest and playing them at the weekend, could have pulled away. But when you look at some of their results, even against Man City, they got a couple of goals back. Against Villa, they got a couple of goals back. But they haven't won in a few now, Luton. So, psychologically, it makes you wonder how they're going to be. That's a huge game. They can't afford to lose to Forest.
Steve, how long before the end did the fourth goal go in for Bournemouth?
It was probably about more than 10 minutes, about 15 minutes. I think there was something like 4 goals in about 20 minutes, something like that. It was 25 minutes. It was quite a scoring spree. But I mean, even in the first half, the bits I saw, the highlight, Bournemouth had quite a few chances. The difference was Luton took theirs. But in the end, when you look at the stats, Luton had something like nearly 25 shots. But it was a big result, and it's the first time in a few years that a team has come from 3 down in the Premier League to win. I think, in fact, I heard this morning it was 20 years since it was Spurs. I think it was that Spurs game where they were 3 down to Tottenham.
5-3.
Spurs were 3 up against United, and United came back to win 5-3.
Yeah, that's right. I remember it like yesterday. It's the hardest I've ever pushed with a champagne cork back in the bottle. But now we're going to go to weekend previews or FA Cup previews. It'll come up on our screen now, and we'll go through those games with you. Here we go. Here's the first lot up. Let me make sure I've got them in order. Right, here we go. This is Wolves Coventry. So it's an FA Cup.
Yeah, it's a midweek. It's a midday, sort of 12:30 kickoff here in the UK. It's showing that Wolves are clear favourites. They've still got a few key players out injured, like Neto and Wang. I think Coventry will give it a go. I think it's going to be a close game. Yeah. I think Wolves will certainly start as favourites, but I think Coventry are going to push them. They'll have a big support there. It's a sellout. Yeah. It's an opportunity for Coventry to get through to the semis for the first time since I think the year they played against Tottenham in the final. So there's a lot riding on it. I fancy Wolves, but I think it'll be close.
6-10, Gav.
It looks like a good bet, but both teams are in good form. Coventry are playing really well in their division. Wolves at home, you would think they would shade it, and I would lean towards Wolves.
That's right, at home. Take the double into Man City, Steve. 3-10 Man City to beat Newcastle.
Yeah, look, they are going to be favourites. I thought they were a little bit off their game in the second half at Liverpool.
I agree.
Not the sort of free-flying football, but Newcastle, they're desperate to try and win something. This is as tough a game as they can hope for. You expect City to come out on top, but I think it'll be an entertaining game. Eddie Howe's going to just go for it. I mean, they're not going to get anywhere in the league really this year, so I think this is a great opportunity for them to...
Going to the Etihad, Steve, I think it's going to be different kettle of fish going to the Etihad to win there. I think Newcastle flattered to deceive at times. They had a good first half of the season. They're not good enough to trouble the Man City team. They can make changes.
Stevie, another short price, Chelsea, a team that are stuttering but going forward.
Yeah, I just think they'll probably have a little bit too much know-how for Leicester. I think, again, this is an opportunity. Chelsea obviously, lost in the Carabao Cup final. They want to go a bit further if they can in the FA Cup. I think Leicester have got their eyes on promotion. And, I think they can't afford to. He's rested a lot of players. I think he'll have to play his strongest team at Chelsea, but I think Chelsea will be too strong.
Are these one-offs, Steve?
Sorry?
Are these games one-off?
Yeah.
There's no shame we'll catch you at our ground next, no. Another question I don't know the answer to. If it's a draw, does it go extra time penalties or does it go replay?
I've got a feeling for this it's going to go to extra time and penalties.
It goes extra time penalties.
I'm not sure there's a replay.
Okay, perfect. The fixtures are congested as they are, Steve.
Well, I think this is the point. This is the fact that this is the problem. I mean, you think that the fifth round they played it as a midweek game. So it's especially for the teams who are playing in Europe, they haven't got many free weeks.
Yeah. And then Stevie, the derbies are always derbies, but it's 9-10 Liverpool, rightly so, I believe.
Yeah, look, I think if Liverpool had a tough game in Europe during this week, it might have changed. But the fact that they can play, as Gavin said, they can play the kids at home to Sparta Prague because they're so comfortable. Look, Liverpool, I think, are favourites because with United, you're not sure what you're going to get from them. The one thing that we've noticed in recent weeks is they're giving up a lot of chances, United. I mean, the fact that Everton didn't score last week was more down to their poor
23 chances, Steve. 23 chances. 23 shots at goal against United. Everton.
Yeah, exactly. And even against,
You
against
can't give
Fulham,
Liverpool half those chances. We will be 5-0 down
You
again.
can't give those chances to Liverpool.
I think it's the bet of the century, Liverpool to beat United. Even though it's a derby game, I think it's going to be one-sided. I think Liverpool will come there. The fans want the game. Good atmosphere, but Liverpool win. I think they'll win by two or three goals.
I'll see, Steve, just touching base here that with Kylian Mbappe looking like he's going to Real Madrid, they're after the Man United striker. It was in Sky News.
Who, Rashford?
Yes.
Rashford. Look, who knows? There's always going to be a little bit of a merry-go-round in the summer. Money talks, isn't it? So we'll see. I mean, there's obviously a lot of speculation. Look, PSG will have the finances to fund somebody, but to be fair, there aren't many players better than Mbappe out there. So whoever they get, I think
80 million. They're saying 80 million for Rashford.
Well, but he's not Mbappe. Although in the French league, he would probably score lots of goals because the standard is way below the Premier League.
His form this season, Steve, he can go. He can go. I've watched him closely this year. His attitude's been very, very bad.
He's a good kid who's not firing, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's had some issues this year. It was only a few weeks ago he had this sort of nightclub incident where he didn't turn up for training. These are the sort of things. There's obviously as Gabby knows, there's obviously there's some issues at United because it's not. There's other players where there have been issues. So I think that now Ineos are in charge. I think that they're going to start sort of getting on top of this, and whether a Ten Hag is there beginning of next season, remains to be seen.
All right, let's move on to the Premier League fixtures, Steve. The ones I've got in order here is the Burnley game first. Burnley are 22-10, Brentford 11-10. Burnley were leading the other day and threw it away.
Well, look, Burnley is sort of try, but it's almost last chance saloon. They can't afford not to. They can't afford to lose this or even draw really, because they are quite a few points adrift. They're sort of 10 points adrift, effectively. I can see Brentford getting something. They make themselves hard to beat. Arsenal found it very hard to beat them last weekend. I think if Burnley don't win this, the writing is on the wall for them, and I think that fat lady is starting to warm up her voice for them.
She's walking towards the piano. Right, and then Stevie, I know I'm rushing them in a little bit. We did start a bit late here, but Luton Town, they're obviously gobsmacked. They have to produce a performance against Nottingham Forest.
Well, I think this is it. I think they have to win for themselves, because if Forest win this and create a gap, psychologically, I mean, conceding those 4 goals in the second half, Luton give it a go. There's one thing they know. Rob Edwards, the manager, knows that this is a huge game, and I think it'll be an entertaining game. I can see Luton certainly score goals, but whether or not Forest can match them, I think it'll be close. Forest capable of getting something there, but I think of the two, Luton are favourites.
Stevie, you and I clash with Fulham against Spurs. The betting is 20.
Well, I'll be honest. Yeah. If Spurs play with a sort of as they did in that second half at Villa, I can't see anything other than a Tottenham win. I think if Fulham got anything out of the game, I'd be surprised. I think there will certainly be goals, but I think Tottenham can see that Villa are starting to falter a bit, and this is a huge game for them. So
Tottenham swagger is back.
We don't have a good record against Spurs, as you know. Yeah. So I think head over heart, I think that Tottenham would be too strong.
Yeah, you agree, Gav?
Yeah, I think Spurs are too strong. They're really playing well.
So it makes that game interesting. If Man United had to lose to Liverpool and Spurs won, and Aston Villa would be under the cosh here, Steve, with West Ham to stay in the hunt.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, West Ham and Villa both play in Europe. They both got big games. They both have to play strong teams. So neither team's at a real disadvantage. Because again, both West Ham and Villa have got home games. They haven't got to travel back from Eastern Europe or somewhere. I think this will be a tight game. Villa, he's just not. they were looking really strong until a month or so ago, and all of a sudden they did win at Luton, but had a bit of a wobble. But they dropped a lot of points, and that defeat against Tottenham last week, losing McGinn now for 3 games after that sort of crazy challenge, I think West Ham could certainly hold them, and that's only going to be good for Tottenham.
Okay, Championship. There's a few games on. It's getting very warm in the Championship, boys. And let's our first one we're going to look at is Swansea City play Cardiff. How do you see it, Steve?
Yeah. I mean, look, it's a huge derby. There's no love lost between those teams. Cardiff have actually started to put a little bit of a run together. Not that far off a playoff place. Swansea, but I'm going to want to lose at home to their rivals. I think this could end up being all square, but it's an early kick-off.
Yes.
As I say, sadly, it's always a very feral atmosphere, but I think it'll be a close game.
All right, let's go to the later games on Saturday. Your brother's team are going to have to go to Birmingham.
Yeah, I mean, this is both teams are struggling. Birmingham really are having a very poor run, find themselves right in a relegation scrap. Watford are a few points clear. I think Watford can't afford to lose this. They could get dragged into it. I think they could hold Birmingham, but if Birmingham, lose this, they are in real trouble.
And Ipswich Town can't afford to lose. They're 5-10 to beat Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, they should do. I mean, Wednesday obviously have had a better run of late. They did come unstuck at home to Leeds last week, but Ipswich are, I think they were disappointed they lost themselves, but Ipswich are really doing well, and I think expect a home win.
Middlesbrough Blackburn.
Yeah, I think Middlesbrough, again, they're just a little bit too far away from a playoff place, but they had a good win during the week. Blackburn score goals, but on the road they don't win many. I fancy Middlesbrough here.
Okay, let's move on then. Plymouth Argyle are short favourites over Preston. There's not much between them, 15-10 and 18-10. Budgie will probably be there.
I think more because Plymouth's home record is quite strong, but Preston just had a little bit of a wobble. I think that for me, it's either Plymouth or a draw.
Okie dokie. Right, we move on to Rotherham. In a lot of trouble. You can get just about 3-1. Huddersfield even money.
Yeah, I mean, Huddersfield, again, in a relegation scrap, but Rotherham have pretty much got there at, the best part of 20 points adrift. They'll be down sort of any game, really. So I think Huddersfield realise that this is the game they've got to go and look to win. And if they do, they could pull themselves away from that bottom 3.
Yeah, that's right. And then if you look at Stoke City and Norwich in the betting, very little between them. Stoke are at home.
Yeah, I mean, Stoke have been up and down. They had a good win, though, last week at Preston. But Norwich has started to score goals and, pushing for that playoff place. So I fancy Norwich to go there and win. Okie dokie.
Then we got Sunderland, favourite to beat visiting QPR, who seem to have improved lately.
Yeah, QPR certainly have, although they were beaten at home last week. I fancy Sunderland. I think that the fans are going to sort of demand a better performance than they've been showing. I think it will be close, but I think Sunderland should edge it.
West Bromwich 8-10, Bristol City 37-10.
Yeah, Bristol City are not a bad side, but they beat Southampton recently. But I fancy West Brom again. They're in a playoff place. They're going to want to try and cement that. So I think it'll be close, but a home win for me.
Leeds 1-3, Millwall 76.
Yeah, you'd expect. Look, Leeds should win this. I mean, at home they're strong. Millwall had a better run recently, but I think Leeds will be too strong, and it'll be. I think it'll be a close game, but I think Leeds at home they haven't lost in a long time, so I fancy Leeds to win that.
Steve, just a quick one before we get your best bet. Which two teams are going to get automatic promotion in your opinion?
Well, this is pretty exciting at the moment. I think Leicester might just hang on. Okay. I fancy Leeds. I think Leeds might just get Ipswich.
Leicester Leeds. Okay.
But, it's very. There's 4 teams top.
Yeah, it's very tight. Stevie, your best bet and your value bet, please.
Yeah, tricky one. I'm going to go for Middlesbrough as my best bet. I think they're just having a little bit of a run. And my value bet, I'm going to go for Norwich City.
Norwich. Excellent. Gav, did you work out your best bet?
Well, I've gone with the FA Cup games. I'm going with Liverpool and Wolves as my best bets for the week.
Very good. Staunch boy. Steve, sorry about the late start, but once again, thanks very, very much.
No problem at all.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Cheers, Ian.
Right, that's that. Let's move on. We've spoken about just about everything except what's happening in this country.
The Nedbank Cup.
Yeah, now, some of these teams I've never heard of, and I can't see them going anywhere. Gav, let's start with Milford FC. They're playing Stellenbosch, a team of form. They're 10-1. They should be 37-1.
Paul, I see the betting is 1-5. Just shows you the quality and the gulf between the two teams. I can't see Stellenbosch losing this game. They're in top form at the moment.
Can you see Chipper losing to FC Ravens?
Chipper at home. I think Ravens are from Pretoria. I think they come down.
Ravens on the wing.
I cannot see Chipper losing this one. I think all the short ones are going to come in lonely.
Now, Richards Bay are not having a good run in the league. I think they're second from the bottom, and they are at home. But they've got Supersport United. Haven't they just drawn with the
They
top
drew with
team?
Sundowns.
That's it.
To stop Sundowns' run of wins. Very well organised Super Sport. It'll be a tough game for them coming down to the coast. Richards Bay losing a bit of quality at the moment. They're just giving goals away cheaply. I think Super Sport at 7-10 could be a good value bet.
Okay, I'll give you another team that I know nothing about. The Hungry Lions are coming to visit Pirates. 12-1, the Hungry Lions. Never heard of them.
I don't know, maybe they come somewhere. We played against a team called Dangerous Darkies.
Yes, I remember them.
And Hungry Lions, I don't know where they get the names from, but Orlando Pirates should be far too classy after they win in the derby.
I've got another good one for you, Gav. D General versus TX Galaxy. 12-1 available.
I really don't know what to say, Paul.
Neither
1
do I.
to
I don't
6.
know
1
these
to
teams.
6 was 12-1. Never heard of them, but good luck to those teams that
That's
they've
right.
got themselves in the competition. Their names are in the hat.
Yeah. Mamelodi Sundowns play Maritzburg United. Mamelodi Sundowns are home. The big punters must take the...
This could be a 4 or 5-0.
Yeah.
I think Sundowns would come. I think all these games you can go and take on goals, teams to win by more than 2.5, 3.5 goals. I think you get a better bet than 1-5, 1-6.
Excellent. Now, has Budgie worked out his sixes? He has. Well done. I'll read them out to you. Well done, Budge, keeping us going. He's taken Brentford not to lose against Burnley. He's gone Luton, Nottingham both ways. Tough game, Gav.
A tough game.
And then he's gone tough game, the Stoke City, Norwich. And then West Brom not to win and draw for West Brom against Bristol City. Fulham Spurs, he's got it right.
I think that's a shoe, I think.
And then Manchester City to win. So that's 2-1-6. That's his first one. Second one, Gav, and you know what I like to do, Gav, when he picks his bet, I like to try and tell him where I think he's wrong. And invariably, he's right. Right, Wolves to beat Coventry, you like that.
I agree that. Yeah.
Swansea, the derby in Wales, he's gone for both teams. Richards Bay, Supersport, he's gone for a bit of a draw too. Interesting. Eh?
I think the value could be in the draw there
Yeah,
because they're
yeah.
travelling away from home. I think good call there.
Burnley, Brentford, he's leaning towards Brentford. Luton, Nottingham, both ways. And again, he's banked at Spurs. He's very good, our Budge. Right, there we go up to 10. In the 10, he's gone Wolves to win, Brentford not to lose, both Luton, Nottingham, Ipswich Town to win, Middlesbrough to win and draw, Stoke City, Norwich both ways, West Brom to win and draw, Real Madrid to beat Osasuna, Tottenham Hotspur draw or win for Spurs, and a win for Manchester City, 288. And then the 13, the massive one, Banker Man City, Banker Spurs, Banker Brentford. Luton Town, win and draw. Birmingham City, win and draw. A win for Ipswich Town. Middlesbrough, win and draw. Plymouth Argyle, no, he's gone Preston. He's his beloved Preston,
for
Gav.
Preston.
He's
He's
gone
having
for
to
his
go
own
at
team.
them,
Them to draw and win. Huddersfield, draw and win. Norwich, draw and win. He's gone the away teams. Here he's gone Sunderland, win and draw over QPR. West Brom to beat Bristol. And Derby County to beat Bolton, 256. Now, my favourite part here, Gav, and I always try and tell him he's got it wrong. He's got Tottenham Hotspur to win and both teams to score. Okay, so that means Fulham's got to score. Over 2.5 goals and both teams to score. Burnley, Brentford, Chelsea, Leicester, West Ham, Aston Villa, 4,700 to 200. He's got a chance. Team goals only. Man City to score over 2.5. Highly likely. Brentford, Tottenham, Man United. all to score over 1.5 goals. That's against his
He's
Liverpool.
going against United teams, Liverpool. I think
He's going for the home ground. They can score twice. Hopeful. Championship treble. West Brom to win, I agree. And over 2.5 goals. And then over 2.5 goals. Sunderland, QPR, Leeds to win by more than 1 goal. So 2-0, 3-1, that type of thing. Okay. Both teams to score. He's gone for the Welsh derby. Swansea and City and Cardiff City. Ipswich, Sheffield, Sunderland, QPR, West Brom, Bristol City. The Spanish quartet, here's the old omelette. Real Sociedad to win and over 2.5 total goals. Athletic Bilbao to win and over 1.5 goals. Both teams to score. Getafe, Girona, Villarreal and Valencia. Collis King, 6 on next, Gav. Now I want to see if you agree with him on the big one. Man City.
Yes.
West Brom.
Tough.
Leeds.
Good things.
Real Sociedad.
Should win.
Athletic Bilbao.
Surprise team this year.
Yeah, and then Inter Milan.
Just coming off Champions League could be too good.
Good draw.
Good draw, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Tough
Budge, I hope you got them right. Those are the bets that you've got to have for this week. And Gav, we've gone for your best bets. Budge seems to think his team's going to give your team a game.
No, I don't think United are going to trouble Liverpool this weekend.
Not in the same league.
Not in the same league. Not in that performance they put last week.
Yeah.
23 shots conceded by Everton against us at home. You can't win games like that. Liverpool are going to destroy us, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so there's the call there. And then well done again to Gavin. Wonderful that he's stood out and won this tournament. I never thought he'd win it outright so easily, but well done. Gavin and Wright is going to be travelling with Keith Hughes, and they're going to go over and watch a game of Gavin's choice. So well done to all of them. And until next time, stay on side.